What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Xman Co. Today we're doing a reverse sear on ribeye steak. It's going to be amazing. So guys, we're doing a versus video, Weber Grill Master Touch versus BGE, Big Green Egg. You guys are in for a treat. Now we're going to talk about this a little bit later. Once these beautiful ribeyes are done, we're going to chat about the feel, the experience, maybe a few pros and cons, and then definitely the most important is the taste. So guys, we've tried to keep the steaks the same size, although they are not. We're going to try and improvise. We're using the same lump charcoal, different brass, but we're trying to keep all the elements to this beautiful cook the same. So without further ado, let's move on to the cook. We're going to start off with patting down our meat. Now we've got two beautiful pieces here, so we're just going to lay it onto this paper, this towel that we're going to use here today. And guys, this is quite important. Really make sure that it's nice and dry, no extra fluids, and we're going to only introduce our own flavors. It's going to be a very simple cook today. You just want to make sure it's nicely patted down. Next, we're going to add a little bit of oil. We're using olive oil here today. You could do the same or any oil that really works for you. This is going to be our sticking agent to these beautiful pieces of meat. So let's just wipe it with a bit of oil all over on the fat cap. Now when we do a reverse sear, we have two choices. We can leave our ribeye steak exactly the way it is, or if we want to have a nice and even cook, we can use a string. What we're going to do today is use the string method. You basically want to make sure that you just tie the steak from the sides as close as you can into a nice round form. And guys, just basically straightforward knot at the end, just so it stays intact. So cut off that extra string. Right guys, as you can see, that's basically what you're after. Nice round piece. This one wants to fall apart, but it's not the end of the world. It's just going to keep it nice and snug. Guys, now it's time for the seasoning. Now there's a few ways that you can actually approach this situation. We're just going to go with salt and pepper. Remember, we're after the true flavor that these beautiful ribeye steaks are going to give us today. You could do some dry brining. Now basically what that is salt, mainly salt. What you want to do is the day before you're actually going to do the cook, just throw enough salt on it, make sure it touches all the sides, and then put it in the fridge. Just like that, open. All the salt's going to really penetrate. It's going to get rid of the moisture, and it's also going to make sure that all areas of that beautiful piece of meat is going to be nice and salty. Now that is really something that we like to do. We haven't done it today. We're going to go straight on to just spicing it right now, and then we're going for the fire. Right, boys and girls, as I said, very straightforward, just salt and pepper. We want to make sure we get the proper, beautiful flavors here today. So let's put some salt over both sides. Don't be shy, we like our spices, a little bit of pepper. What we do to the one side, we're going to do to the other. Make sure you make a little bit of a mess on the side, because we're going to scrape all those beautiful flavors up just now. There you go. And then make sure that fat cap gets a bit, all the edges, beautiful. What we have here, guys, is two beautiful ribeye steaks ready for the fire. Now guys, we're going to do a nice low and slow. Basically we're looking for anywhere between 225 Fahrenheit to 250. For the local guys, it's around 110, 120 degrees Celsius. On the Weber grill, we're going to go with one basket. It's going to be indirect. On the Big Green Egg, we're going to use a deflector, some know it as a convector. We're going to use that, and that's going to give us that indirect heat. We're going to get both grills up to temperature, 225, 250 around there. Then these bad boys are going on the grill. We're also going to put a probe into one of these steaks, as we need to know more or less when we hit temperature of 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Now guys, what we need to know is that you can do it without a probe, and therefore we're going to time it and just give you an idea how long this does take on the Weber and on the BGE. So without further ado, let's move on to the next step. We estimate that we're going to have about 40 minutes time. We're going to make a nice little add-on to this beautiful pieces of steak. Then these bad boys are ready for the searing process. Both these ribeye steaks are on the grill. We're going to give it about 40 minutes. I think we might check in at about 35 minutes. That's where we want to take it off. Remember, it's still going to cook once we take it off the grill, and we need to set up for the searing process. Two ways to do that. One is on the Weber or the BGE on a straight fire, which is very much recommended. We're going to go for a searing pan. We might put both of them in at the same time, Remember guys, we're trying to keep these guys exactly the same throughout the cook. So see you guys in a bit. While we wait for these beautiful steaks to get up to temperature, for us to take it off and to reverse sear, we're going to make something beautiful. We're going to do an add-on, a little bit of chilies, garlic, some lemon, salt and pepper. That's all you're going to need. Let me show you guys. Now this is just something that we're going to most probably dip and enjoy with meat. You can use this on any meat. It's really a nice add-on. We like chili, so let's go ahead and do this. So we're going to use about 2 to 3 green chilies. You just want to cut them open. We're trying not to use the seeds. We're only after the chili. Then you want to go ahead and just chop it up in small pieces. Next we're going to break up a whole clove of garlic. You can decide how much garlic you want to use. We're going to use about 4 pieces of this garlic. You just want to take the skin off and then go ahead and crunch it up, chop it up, make sure it's nice and fine. Again guys, you decide how fine you want it. We like it nice and fine. It's entirely up to you what you guys want to do. We like to use the ratio 1:1, but you guys can do whatever you want. If you want to add some more garlic to it, you're more than welcome. Next, a little bit of salt, be generous. Then also a little bit of pepper, love the flavor of that. You want to add some olive oil, that's what we prefer. Just to make sure it's nicely covered, give it a nice mix. There you go, that's perfect. Then we're going to give it a little bit of a squeeze of lemon in there, and there you have it. Beautiful. This is good and delicious for when the food's ready. Let's go check on our meat. It's about 20 minutes into the cook and I think it's time to turn these bad boys. We've got about 92 degrees Fahrenheit and it's about 70% of the cook done already. Guys, we've got an internal temp of 115 degrees Fahrenheit. I know it's quite low, but remember it's going to carry on cooking and we're going to do the reverse here and then we're going to let it rest. We're aiming for about 135 around there. A medium rare, maybe slightly a little bit higher because it's ribeye. Lots of marbling. It's going to be beautiful. Let's get these guys off the grid. As we expected, very little color. It's reversed here. Remember, this was low and slow. So let's go get some color on it or get it prepped to get some color on it. Guys, remember, moisture is our enemy. We want nice, beautiful crust on this. And therefore, we're just going to pat it down lightly. The salt did penetrate it while we waited for these grills to get nice up to temp. So there will be lots of flavor in it. There's a reason why we said do it the night before, because then the salt can really penetrate this meat and you'll lose even less. At this stage, let's get rid of some of the moisture and then it's ready for the searing part. Next, we're going to just dab a little bit of oil onto it. Remember, our searing pan is going to be totally dry. We're using a skillet. You want to use avocado oil maybe, something with a high flash point. This one's infused with some lemon. Experiment a little bit, enjoy. So guys, we're going to do about 1.5 minutes on each side. That's as much as we're going to need. You can also check in between what the crust looks like. I'm sure 1.5 minutes will be perfect. Sometimes you need to go to 2 minutes, but more often than not, 1.5 minutes is perfect. Guys, that moment that we need to taste these beautiful bad boys. Now, just a few things off the bat. We rested it for about 5 minutes and it's still resting. One thing I have to tell you guys, between the Weber and the BGE, basically the BGE was much easier to control. It took us much quicker to get it to temperature, where the Weber was a bit harder to control. I had to use both vents, the bottom and the top, to regulate it. Basically the bottom was totally closed and the top tiny bit open. So the Weber did take a bit longer to get up to temp. Basically it overshot and we had to battle to get it down to about 250 degrees Fahrenheit. I hope we didn't overdo these guys. We had it for about 2.5 minutes in the skillet and we should have taken it off maybe at 2 minutes. But hey, it's still going to be beautiful. It's reverse here. I don't think it's going to be a fail. Let's check it out. The one on my left here is from the Weber and the one on the right is the BGE. I'm going to cut both and we see what it looks like. Let's go straight down the middle. That moment of truth. Beautiful medium. Maybe not quite a medium rare, but remember this is ribeye, it's got lots of marbling, so you don't want to undercook it too much. Let's do the Weber, cut it in half. There you go guys. Basically very much the same. I hope you guys can see on the camera what I see. Sometimes the light is a little bit too much, but that's definitely a nice medium. Right guys, BGE first. Oh, wow. This is amazing. Wow, that's nice. Smoky, juicy. Everything you want from a reverse sear. Nice and soft, juicy, it's medium, it's perfect. There's a little bit of smokiness to it. Now let's try the Ribeye. There you go, boys and girls, cheers. It's very hard to say, but I can tell you one thing. The Ribeye is slightly tougher. I don't know if that's the meat. The BGE's got a nice smokiness to it, less smokiness to the Ribeye. They're both great. I can't actually pick one, although at this moment in time, I like the one that came out of the BGE. A beautiful cut like this, reverse sear, what can go wrong? You can overcook it. We almost overshot it. I was a bit worried about that. It's a proper medium, this for us, this is what we can see. I hope you guys can see the same in the camera. Guys, you have to go and try it. Salt and pepper, very basic, beautiful. Guys, you know the story. If you like what you're doing, like, share, subscribe. Enable those notifications so you guys get notified as soon as we upload a new video. Thanks for watching. We cannot do it without you. We'll see you on the next one. This is amazing. Truly amazing. Wow. Go try it out.